When I was in graduate school, I had a professor who was fond of saying, you can't control what you can't measure. I have been off and on for the last 15, 20 years looking at ways in which we can measure and characterize mathematically the shape of a sweet potato. And it is not easy. The shape and size of the sweet potato has a big influence on the value of that sweet potato. For example, a U.S. #1 sweet potato would retail, for example, for 75 cents a pound. Sometimes you get potatoes that are like this, that are jumbos. And the problem is the small potatoes and the jumbos might sell for 10, 15 cents a pound, or even less. Sometimes you can't even sell them. So the question is what's the difference? Is there any difference besides the size? And the answer to that question is no. They taste the same, the nutrition is the same, they are the same in every aspect except shape and size. And so a big part of this project has been not only to design the instrumentation that we can measure shape and be able to crunch the numbers and get something useful from it.
Being able to measure sweet potatoes is the ultimate goal. So far, we haven't, in the sweet potato industry, been able to measure the shape and size of sweet potatoes. So after I nail down this process and the technology, we'll be able to test like different phosphorus applications or different planting dates and harvest dates. And then because we'll be able to measure the size and shape with this, we'll be able to correlate like this nitrogen application in this soil type with this variety tends to produce this type of potato.
As strange as this may seem, let's say a farmer has got a very good yield of U.S. #1 sweet potato. Let's say he's got 400 bushels an acre of U.S. #1s, and he's getting ready to harvest, and it's October. Well, it turns out that October is a really good hurricane season here. And so all of a sudden there's a hurricane coming, and he can't get in the field. And it may be a week or so before he can get back into the field because it's muddy. And during that time, those potatoes have grown. And so he winds up with not 450 bushels of U.S. #1, but maybe 800 bushels of jumbos that he can't even afford to harvest because that's just part of it. You harvest these potatoes and you have to store them, you have to put them in boxes, you pay people to harvest them. And when you add all that up, they're not worth harvesting. And so what they do is they're just left in the field. Perfectly good food. Perfectly good food. So what can we do? How can we look at the shape of the potato and say, what can we do? Can we advise the farmer to say, harvest at this time or that time or the other time?
So that's the ultimate goal, to help these farmers reduce their waste and be able to market a product they want.